Hello everyone, my name is Weng and I just wing it, and welcome to my YouTube channel where I make random videos such as vlog, travel videos, tech reviews, short films, and anything about filmmaking stuff. So if you're into that kind of video or about filmmaking, maybe some cameras and all that stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. Or not, I respect any decision you make. But today's video we are going to be comparing my two cameras, which is the A7C and my A6600. So we're going to talk about their similarities and differences and what advantage they have comparing to each other, and maybe you can decide or help you decide which camera you should buy or you should be getting. Is this camera right for you or not? Or maybe you can just lean on to new upcoming cameras. So whatever your decision at the end of this video, it's up to you, but I'm just giving you some little info about these two cameras if you're interested about this A7C and A6600 in the year 2021 or maybe next year, for your holiday gift or a gift for yourself this upcoming Christmas. Alright, so first let's cover their similarities. So both cameras has a compact size body and weighs roughly the same, about 500 to 525 grams. The A7C probably weighs a little bit more, but if you hold it in both hands, you're not gonna notice any difference when it comes to their weight. They're both lightweight, which is really good cameras for traveling and portability. And both cameras have the same E-mount because they're both Sony. Sony only uses one lens mount system, which is really good. So yes, both cameras take the same mount, so you can interchange their lens from full frame or APS-C lenses. They all take those. Both cameras have the same 24 megapixels with Bion X processor. It offers 4K up to 30 frames per second and 120 frames per second with a 1080p video resolution for slow motion video. Both cameras has no record limit, so it's really nice to make a video such as this. You can record your video as long as you want or until your battery dies on you or your memory card runs out. And speaking of batteries, they both take NP-FZ batteries, which is great for a long period of use. And both cameras have 5-axis in-body image stabilization, which is great for handheld footage. And both cameras are great in its kind. Now, how are they different? Well, obviously, the A7C is a full-frame sensor compared to the A6600, which is only an APS-C sensor or Super 35 sensor. The A7C is much better in low light performance because it allows more light to hit that sensor and also gives you that higher stops of dynamic range and a higher native ISO, which goes up to 51,200, I believe. And the A6600 only goes up to 3,200 native ISO. Now, both cameras can go higher than their native ISO, but just keep in mind that the higher you go, it will introduce some noise on your footage. So my advice is keep your ISO low and just play around with your lighting if you have one. Now, the A7C has a flip out articulating LCD screen, and the A6600 has a flip up screen. So both of these cameras are actually great for vlogging because you can see yourself and framing if you film yourself. But the A7C has more flexibility when it comes to the flip out articulating screen because it allows you to shoot a different angle or that unique shot, so it's easy for you to see rather than the A6400. It's kind of a pain in the butt, especially when you have a mic on top of the camera once it's flipped out, it's actually blocking your LCD screen. But there is a solution for that. You can buy a relocating adapter so that it will fix that problem. So it will just move your mic to the side and it won't block your LCD screen, so you can see yourself. Now when it comes to button layout, the A6600 has an advantage over the A7C because the A6600 has more custom buttons, so you can program any quick menu you want for those custom buttons. And also the A6600 has a bigger grip, which is comfortable to hold compared to the A7C, but you can also fix the A7C grip by buying an accessory like a small rib cage to make your grip bigger. Now another advantage that the A7C has is that it can utilize or optimize both full frame and APS-C size lenses because it has the ability to switch from full frame to APS-C size sensor or Super 35 mode compared to the A6600 that stays only at APS-C size sensor. Now you can actually put a full frame lens or full frame glass on the A6600, but you're just gonna have that crop factor of 1.5, which means that whatever focal length you put on this camera, you're gonna have to multiply that by 1.5. So that's gonna be your focal length, your real focal length. Let's say if you have a 16mm on this camera, multiply that by 1.5, you're gonna end up with a 24mm focal length on this sensor compared to the A7C. When you have a 16mm, it's gonna give you that 16mm focal length. Speaking of lenses, the full frame lenses is a lot bigger, heavier, and probably more expensive than the APS-C size lenses. Now, Sony did release a trio pancake lenses that range from 24mm, 40mm, and 50mm 2.5 G lens, not the G Master, but the G lens. They are actually great glass. They're pancake lens and they are actually good when pairing it with the A7C. They're full frame glass for the A7C, designed for compact size cameras, which is great. It makes this setup a lot smaller. And even some Tamron lenses too, you can probably find a much cheaper full frame lens from Tamron, which is also a 2.5 prime lenses. So you know, you have that options. But if you want a really great glass for your A7C or full frame camera, you're gonna have to look for the Sigma Art lenses and the G Master lens from Sony, which is very pricey. But that's if you want to pay for the quality, and that's what you are gonna get. Now when it comes to memory card, the A7C actually requires an SDXC2 memory card for fast readout, and which makes this memory card a little bit expensive compared to the A6600 that only requires the SDXC1. Now the A6600 do or take SDXC2, but you don't have to. Why would you do that, right? I mean if you want to, you have the option to have a SDXC2 on your A6600 and it will work fine. Now, like I said earlier, both cameras have a 5-axis in-body image stabilization, but they don't work as great, especially when you're vlogging and you're walking around. You can see that shakiness on your footage. But on A7C, you can convert that to Sony Catalyst Browse because it records gyro data, so you have that option to smooth out your video. So you just have to go to Catalyst Browse and convert that footage, and it will smooth out for you. Compared to the A6600, doesn't have that option, so you're gonna have to rely on a gimbal. Now, how much this camera costs? Well, the A7C will cost you around $1,800 US, and the A6600 will cost you around $1,400, both body only. Now, you might find a cheaper price for this camera since it's been a year or so that has gone by and holiday is around the corner, and also a new camera is coming out like the A7 IV. so you might be lucky to shop around at a much cheaper price. And also you can buy this actually as a refurbished or open box like I did, to a much cheaper price. The A7C, when I got this camera, I got it as an open box. It's actually priced like around 1400 to 1500 US dollars, so which is a really great deal for such a great camera. But enough about that, so let's put this camera to a test and see how they compare when it comes to image quality in video and probably photos. Now for this test, I'll be using a full frame glass for the A7C and an APS-C glass for the A6600, and then I'll be switching them around. And also I'm gonna use full frame glass for both cameras and an APS-C glass for both cameras, and if there is any different when it comes to their image quality. Alright, so you've seen it all. Let me know down below which camera are you buying or which camera is right for you. Let me know. And if you have any questions, please write it down in the description or in the comment section below. I will try to answer them as fast as I can or as soon as I can. And as always, I appreciate your support. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Click that subscribe button and bell notification for more videos. Until then, see you in the next one. Ciao. Moving forward.